And reporting. Okay, guys. So last week, yeah, we didn't actually get through much, but we covered a lot about trying to figure out why we do the things we do, why we're wired like we are, why we think the things that we think, and how can we begin to change them. The things that are not working for us, while we embrace the things that are working for us, okay? So in this section, we're going to start discovering how to embrace your inner badass, okay? And it's love the one you is. Love the one you is. If we really love ourselves, everything in our lives work. And we're going on to say, I was hanging out at my brother's house one day, lying on the couch, watching his then 2-year-old son waddle around. At one point, someone knocked something off the coffee table, and my little nephew bent down to pick it up. My brother turned to me and said, "Did you see that?" The guy knows exactly how it's done. He bends at the knees, keeps his back straight, his hips arched, stomach tight. I mean, it was flawless. And thrilled to have such a willing and skilled Exhibit A, Bobby then proceeded to spend the next couple of minutes dropping more things on the floor, like a spoon, a remote control. And my nephew, in perfect form, continued to pick it all up. As my brother kept up a running commentary on his posture, his muscle usage, seriousness of the manner that he was doing it in, and the fact that my nephew was pulling it all off with great dignity, even though his diaper was sagging. It's incredible. The kid could flip over a car without straining his back. I could barely pull up my pants without having to be rushed to the hospital. When we are born, okay, we have instinctual understanding of some of the most important basics of life. And it includes and goes way beyond, bending at the knees instead of our lower backs to pick something up off the floor. We are born knowing how to trust our instincts, how to breathe deeply, how to eat only when we're hungry, how to not care about what anyone thinks of our singing voices, our dance moves, our hairdos, or how we play, create, and just love without holding back. Then, as we grow and we learn from people around us, we replace many of those primal understandings with negative false beliefs, fear, shame, and self-doubt. We wind up in an emotional and physical pain. Then we either numb our pain with things like drugs, sex, booze, TV, Cheetos, etc., or we settle for mediocrity, or we rise to the occasion. You remember how truly mighty we are and how set out to relearn everything we knew at the beginning all over again, okay? It's like we're born with a big bag of money, more than enough to fund any dream of ours. And instead of following our instincts and our hearts, we invest in what other people believe we should invest in. Some people invest in believing they're too old to go out clubbing when they love nothing more than some boogie music. Some invest in being tough or too cool for school, when really, all they want is love and a connection. Some invest in being ashamed of their sexuality instead of being their glorious gay selves. As we continue to buy into these things that aren't even true for us, our inner fortune dwindles away, guys. And it isn't until we connect with who we truly are and start investing in what's really true for us that we start to live full, rich, authentic lives. Okay. And while there's countless ways, there are so many ways that we rip ourselves off. There's one way in particular that without a doubt is the most rampant and the most devastating of all. We invest everything into believing that we're not good enough. We arrive here as perfect little bundles of joy and then set at the task of learning how to unlove ourselves. How ridiculously unbelievable is that? Self-love is the simplest yet most powerful thing ever. Flies right out the window when we start taking in outside information. I'm not talking about being conceited. I'm not talking about practicing narcissism, okay? Because those things come from fear and a lack of self-love. I'm talking about a deep connection with our high selves and an unshakable ability to forgive our lowest. I'm talking about loving ourselves enough to let go of guilt, resentment, criticism, and embrace compassion, joy, and gratitude. You see, guys, when we're happy and all in love with ourselves, we cannot be bothered with the bullshit, okay? Our own or other people's. You ever guys ever stop and wonder what the world would be like if everyone loved themselves so much that they weren't threatened with other people's opinions or their skin colors or their sexual preference or their talents, their education or their possessions or their lack of possessions, their religious beliefs or their customs, or their general tendency, just to be whoever the hell they are. Imagine how different your reality would be and the reality of everybody surrounding you if you woke up every morning certain of your own lovability and your critically important role on this planet. And if you poo-pooed shame, guilt, self-doubt, self-loathing, and allowed yourself to be, do, and have everything that your little heart desired, that's the kind of world that I want to live in. That's the kind of world that I want to live in. Okay. Now, in the interest of perpetrating such radical reality altering self-love, here's some of the best ways to win yourself over again. Okay. Hope you brought your notebooks. One, guys, you need to appreciate how special you really, really are. There is never going to be anyone exactly like you. You were given special gifts. You were given special talents to share with the world. And even though everybody has special gifts and talents, nobody's going to quite use theirs the same way you do. Okay. You have a way of being in the world and a perspective that is unique to you and you only. You're the only one that thinks your thoughts the way you think them. You've created your own unique reality and are living your life according to its own unique path. You are the only you, guys, that will ever be. So, you're kind of a big deal. You're kind of a big deal. Okay. And number two, we talk about this all the time. I can tell who practices it and who don't. I will say that. Number two, drown yourself in affirmations. Trust me, guys, I wouldn't do this to you unless I had to. Affirmations work. You don't have to say them in the mirror. You don't have to hug yourself or buy a special rainbow journal with a lock on it to write them down. But if you want to turn the ship around, you need to rewire your brain and train it to think differently. Okay. This is what affirmations can do for you. It's up to you to figure out which affirmations you need to hear most and repeat them all day long in your head when you're driving in your car, while you're walking down the street. You can even be like walking down the street. Heck, just pretend you're on your phone, under your breath. You can do these, while you're in line at the grocery store or the DMV. Write them on Post-it notes and stick them everywhere on your house, on your mirrors, on your refrigerators. I have them stuck on my cabinet with the coffee. So, it's the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning. I have sticky stuck in my car. Okay. Write down your favorite affirmations 10 times in the morning and 10 times at night. And before you go to bed, like while you're doing your magical practices that we talk about, say them out loud. Okay. Now, here are some affirmations that are specific to self-love. You can pick one or two of them that you resonate with and just pummel the hell out of yourself with them. I deserve and receive massive amounts of love every moment of every day. I am one with the universe. The universe is awesome, and so am I. My heart is open. Love pours in and out. I receive all the goodness that life has to offer me. I am brilliant. I am bright. I am beautiful. It could either be, I love how tall I am and the size of my booty. Just whatever. If none of those work, come up with your own, okay? They don't have to, some like don't make you gag, but it strikes a nerve with you, okay? The more emotion you feel around what you're saying, the more power it's going to have to bring about the positive change. And yes, at the beginning, you may feel crazy. You may feel like you're lying to yourself, but the truth is, guys, you're living the lie. The affirmations are going to get you back to truth, okay? And affirmations, it can't just be like rattling off a bunch of nonsense. You have to feel it and want it and get worked up by it in order for them to work. Okay. So we're going to 3. We're going to do things that we love. Do things that we love, guys. My kids get on to me about this all the time because, when I do diet, I do the keto diet. When you constantly deny yourself the people, the food, the things, the experiences that make you feel the most alive, it sends a pretty lousy message home. Look at your life, okay? Look at your life, guys, okay? See where you are letting yourself down. If you hear yourself saying things like, I love going out to see live music. I can't remember the last time I did it. Make time. We're all busy, okay? But it's the people who make enjoying their lives a priority who enjoy their lives. Right now, there are thousands of people all over the world at yoga retreats, overlooking the ocean, dancing their asses off at outdoor musical festivals, whooping it up in the Disney cruise of their dreams. Really listen to how you speak and pay attention to what you do. Make a conscious effort to increase your joy in whatever capacity you can. It can be anything from spending a weekday afternoon with a good friend to quitting your hateful job to buying a pair of completely impractical but completely new awesome shoes or going to surf at a vacation in Costa Rica. It's about being proactive, about creating a life you love instead of meekly living the one you think you're stuck with. Give yourself the gift of a joyous life while you're still among the living. Also, I do this a lot too. If you're kind of the person that puts everybody's needs first, you need to start, putting yours up front. Those who are used to you being their personal assistant are still going to love you, even though they'll be somewhat grouchy about you not waiting on them hand and foot anymore. Buy yourself a new pair of jeans. Open a savings account. Hire someone to do your dishes. Make your kids clean out the cat box. You aren't a selfish person for taking care of yourself, just a happier one. Take care of yourself as though you are the most awesome person that you have ever met. Once again, taking care of yourself, okay? And treating yourself like the most awesome person you have ever met. That is the basis of love. Do not confuse it with conceitment, okay? And don't confuse it with putting others down to lift you up, okay? This that we're talking about, taking care of yourself first, is stemmed from true, deep love, okay? True, deep love. This takes us to number 4. Find a replacement. Find a replacement. You know, we've got so used to our negative knee-jerk reactions to ourselves. You know, we never seem to question them anymore. We simply take them as the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Once we become aware of our thought patterns and our behaviors, we can consciously change them. So I want you guys to start paying attention. What runs through your mind when you look in the mirror? What happens inside you when you see someone totally succeeding at something you'd love to do, but you've never let yourself try? What do you think and feel when you walk up to a group of really good-looking, successful people? Or when you do your best to try to pull something off and you fail? Or when you get dumped by somebody totally awesome and hot? When you walk around all day with your zipper fly open? When you leave your coffee on the roof of your car and drive off? Or when you let a friend down? Or when you stub your toe on the kitchen table for the 10th time? Or when you forget your dad's birthday? Or maybe, you know, sometimes when you snap at somebody who might not have deserved it just quite as harshly as you dished it out, okay? Notice the verbiage that runs through your mind when you're being the most heinous to yourself and come up with a new and improved response. For example, if every time you look in the mirror, your first thought is, yikes, make a conscious effort to change it to, well, hello, gorgeous. If you have a complicated relationship with your father and beat yourself up every time you say something awful to him, replace the I'm a monster with I'm just a little bunny working through my issues. And then, of course, apologize to him. Okay. If your standard response to screwing something up is, her royal clumsiness strikes again, replace it to, well, okay, what can I learn from this? The most important thing is to free yourself from the drama and the conviction that your current version of yourself is the truth. I don't care if you guys are sitting there like, oh, that's so easy for you to say. You don't have a nose that makes, you know, it look like somebody parked a yacht on your face. Because one day you could see a fancy, famous fashion model with a nose far bigger than yours who's decided she was gorgeous anyway. And suddenly you feel all beautiful and confident about your nose. And when just the day before you was considered getting it sawed off. This is how ridiculous we are. Don't spend your life clinging to the insulting decisions you've made about yourself. Instead, make conscious choice to replace them with new and improved ones. Okay. How many of us have kind of like this self-depreciating humor? Okay. How many? You kind of make fun of yourself to get through the day? Drop it. 5, ditch the self-depreciating humor. Incessant self-depreciating humor is for losers. Okay. I get it. It can't be hilariously funny, and I'm totally guilty of it. You know, it can be hilariously funny. Okay. I can even be guilty of it from time to time, you know, and there's nobody I'd enjoy more backing over with my car than the guy who can't laugh at himself. Okay. But I'm talking about the nonstop I suck fest. Okay. Ripping on yourself gets old fast, especially if it's like your thing. So if you're one of those people who fall back on making fun of yourself every hour on the hour, not only are you basically begging for people to think that you're a loser, but you're also begging yourself to think you're a loser. It's like hitting yourself over and over and over and over and over with a crowbar. Why on earth would you do that to your awesome self? What you tell yourself on a daily basis is more powerful than you know. You know, seemingly harmless jokes over time can turn into seriously destructive beliefs. Our thoughts become our words. Our words become our beliefs. Our beliefs become our actions, and our actions become our habits. Okay. And then what happens to our habits, guys? Our habits become our reality. So if your favorite joke is that you couldn't get a date if you demanded one at gunpoint and you spend every Saturday night alone, maybe you should come up with a new one-liner. Most importantly, constantly making fun of yourself it's just a cheap way to be funny. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. So push yourself to come up with a new script. Your confidence and the humor snobs out there will thank you. I promise. Okay. I promise. 6, guys, we got to let the love in. Receive compliments gracefully instead of countering them with a disclaimer, such as what? This radio thing? Instead, try this. Well, thank you. Period. Take care of your body too. Okay. Well, if you're anything like me, we run around doing all our busy work with our poor bodies flapping behind us like old wind socks. Okay. When we're pressed for time, it's often the first thing to get overlooked. I've got 5 meetings today. I'll do yoga tomorrow. I'll have a power bar for lunch. Meanwhile, during our little trip here on earth, we need our bodies more than our bodies need us. Say nice things about your body. Dress up. Take it out. Give it luxurious baths. Go get a massage. Move it, stretch it, nourish it, hydrate it. Pay attention to it. The better our body feels, the happier and more productive we are. Okay? 7, don't compare yourself to others. Have you ever done something you're so proud of and you feel all on top of the world until you see that someone else has done something similar, and then in your mind similar, you turn it to better, and then all of a sudden you're feeling sad? Comparison is the fastest way to take all of the fun out of life. It is none of your business, guys, what other people are doing. All that matters is that you're enjoying yourself and you're pleased with what you're creating. It's precisely your uniqueness that makes you awesome. Deciding that someone else's uniqueness is better than your own isn't exactly being your own best buddy about things, okay? Can you imagine what our world would be like if our biggest heroes succumb to the perils of comparison? If Marilyn Monroe had compared herself to Kate Moss and decided she needed to lose her curves, or what if the guy in Led Zeppelin compared themselves to Mozart? Dude, that guy's huge, way huger than we'll ever be. He doesn't even have a drummer. I think we should get rid of ours and maybe add some hearts while we're at it. No, guys, you are more than enough. Avoid comparison. Avoid it like the plague. Okay. And this makes me cry every time, because it's something we all need, we all deserve. It is so freeing. Therefore, it's so hard to do. Number 8, you got to forgive yourself, guys. This is the most important one. Okay. You know what? You've screwed up in the past. I've screwed up in the past. We've all screwed something up in the past. And guess what, guys? You're going to screw up again. I'm going to screw up again. We're all going to screw up again. Okay. Every human is born with the ability to make spectacular mistakes. Okay. You're not alone. Okay. You are not alone. And guess what? Screwing up is not your special skill. Get over it. Dragging around all of your guilt, all of your self-criticism is beyond unhealthy and is utterly pointless, not to mention pretty boring. You aren't a better person for feeling guilty or bad about yourself, guys. All it makes you is a sadder person. Get clear on this one truth, okay? Guilt, shame, self-criticism, they're some of the most destructive forces in your life, okay? Which is why forgiving yourself is one of the most powerful, okay? Here's an excellent way to do it. Think of something specific you feel badly about. Okay. Call it up in your mind, feel it in your body, repeat over and over the following while you're thinking about it. Okay. And really feel what you're saying to yourself. You need to just be thinking about it, feel the feelings that the situation makes you feel, and tell yourself, you know what, holding on to my bad feelings about this is doing nothing but harming me. It's harming me. It's harming everybody else. It's preventing me from enjoying my life fully. I'm an awesome person. I choose to enjoy my life. I choose to let this go. This will be a learned behavior, okay? Because, you're not just going to be able to do this once and it totally disappear forever, okay? It's part of the enemy. The enemy's going to creep back up with this from time to time, and you're going to have to constantly remind yourself, you know what? Holding on to these bad feelings about this is doing nothing for me. It's doing nothing but harming me. It's preventing me from enjoying my life. I'm an awesome person. I'm going to choose to let this go. Choose to let go. Guys, type it in the chat. Choose to let go. Whenever you feel these situations and feelings creeping up, okay, you need to repeat that. I choose to let go. I am awesome. This is dragging me down and I deserve better. Repeat it. Repeat it until you feel a sense of freedom and lightness around this issue, okay? It may take a day, it may take a week, it may take some months, okay? Or it can happen right away. But however long it takes, do it, okay? Because if you want to be free, you have to put in the time, okay? When we move on, we're going to spend a little bit more time on forgiveness and letting go, okay? And guys, if there's somebody out there that you need to apologize to, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. Make the apology from the heart. And guess what? Okay. They could accept it or they could not. That is on them. Do you know that when you owe someone an apology or an amends, all you have to do to clean your side of the street is to make that apology? It's up to them if they take it or not. If they do or if they don't, you've done your part. Okay. You've done your part. And I was telling my niece, my niece and nephew, um, they're staying with me until they get their apartment. Their apartment's ready on like the 26th, and they're staying with me until we do. He's 2. He's a 2-year-old on steroids. He's wide open. And you just got to keep your eyes on him constantly. The second you let him out of your sight, he's over here in the cat litter box, thinking it's a toy box, throwing cat litter everywhere. And he got out of, when we got him out of the cat litter box yesterday, he said, sorry. And I was like, well, sorry means that you're not going to do it anymore. So I highly doubt that you're sorry, but that is a no-no. Okay. So when you apologize to people, making true living amends is not doing that. If you're really sorry, don't do it again. If you're really sorry, learn from it. Okay. And 9, love yourself. You've got to take all of these things we talked about today and learn how to love yourself. You've got to learn to love yourself. Why? Because it's the holy grail of happiness. Okay? Because it's the holy grail of happiness. I hope that y'all are getting as much out of this as I am. Tomorrow, we're going to go in the next series. We're going to go through I Know You Are, but What Am I? Reminds me of Pee Wee Herman. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? All right, guys. So I'll see each and every one of you in class tonight and in the chats. I love you. Be blessed.